What is up, everyone? You are tuned in to the Shakkas Den, brought to you by Battleground Podcast, and of course, Nikki Bougie, Dreon Santana. We are the Salt Shakers, and this is our Survivor Series edition of Raw versus SmackDown in the Den. What is up, everyone? StreamYard moving fast today. Hold on. They cut my mic on early.
Yeah, I don't
Shout out to
know.
you,
This shit going
StreamYard.
crazy on my end.
Okay. I know everyone's anticipating our
Oh my
thoughts
god.
on CM Punk. The issue is that will be at the end of the show. And the other issue is that I'm going
Mhm.
to the show. So we're gonna do what we can. Of course, Dreon Santana in the building. How are you?
I feel very energized, honestly. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if it's me being up at 6:30 in the morning, getting out early for work, or CM Punk being back, Randy Orton being back, R-Truth being back. It's just a lot.
It's a
Survivor
lot.
Series was great, but we do have to talk about the weekly product of the shows before we
Yes,
dive into like everything else. So
obviously. It is a good old Monday Night Raw. I wasn't expecting too much from a take home episode. Of course, Drew McIntyre coming out expressing why he has aligned himself with the Judgment Day. And to be fair, once again, I'm going to say this. I do think SmackDown won. Um, but we are going to run through Raw while we're here. And y'all know how I feel about Drew McIntyre. Um, they weren't really feeling what Drew had to say. Obviously, Jay comes out and then it obviously there's a debacle because the main event for tonight's match is obviously the advantage match for the men. So we're opening up with the men. Um Eventually Judgment Day plus Drew McIntyre is going face to face with their opposing team, consisting of right now Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jay Uso, and then of course Sami Zayn. But Adam Pearce makes his way to the ring and makes it very clear that since there are 5 members that will be representing Judgment Day, there needs to be 5 members representing team. I don't even know what they're called. I'm gonna say Team Cody Rhodes. I never really paid attention to what they were being called. They don't really care when it comes to the men.
no,
I feel like
they
that's
don't.
more of the girls' things because they just they just always do that. And when I say they, I mean commentary. Um, but yes, Adam made it very clear that there needs to be the 5th member announced, and of course, we'll get to that at the end of the show. We also had a match between Nia Jax and Raquel. Very hard hitting match. Like this match was as strong as Raquel's back, and I'm not even joking. They were literally going crazy for no reason. And we don't get to see this a lot. We don't get to see two, you know, dominating women in the presence, the way they've established themselves. But of course Nia gets the win after smashing Raquel. I mean, Jesus Christ. It was
Flatten that girl
just like a pancake.
like a pancake.
We move on to the women's action. To some more women's action, of course, Becky Lynch and Xia Li having to have their match before Xia Li takes on Lyra Valkyria, which I believe was in the stadium, right? Was she not there?
Who?
Lyra.
Yeah, Live Out of Cure was out there in the audience. She was watching this
Yeah.
match, but this was before Laura was to face Xia Li on NXT.
Yes. Now the only issue is that after Becky decides that she wants to give it all she has for Xylee and get the win, Damage Control decides to walk down to the ring. However, they were suddenly stopped, of course, by Shotzi, Bianca, and Charlotte. And then all hell truly breaks out. We see one moment where it does look like Bex and Charlotte and Shotzi and Bianca are standing tall, but then they break out into more chaos. And so, as much as the rumors are being, held about damage control, it seems like they're being a cohesive, but we'll have to see obviously how that have, mm, there's still so many answers with damage control, but like I said, the brawl continues. Um it's just crazy. I mean, I love stuff like this though because this is what it's about.
That's what we need.
This is what we need,
I
truly.
ain't with all that talking.
No, I'm tired of it. There was a match between Johnny Gargano and Ludwig Kaiser, who lost to Johnny Gargano. Um, I tell you, Vinci helped him this week. Well, last week, and then this week just not cost him the match, but I just feel like wasn't of assistance in the sense. But we'll see if they can regain some more momentum. Keeping it with the tag team, of course, we did have different we had four different women's tag teams. The winner of the match would get an opportunity and will get an opportunity tonight actually to face off with the tag team champions Chelsea and Piper. So we had Katana and Kaden, and then we also had the team of Natty and Tegan. We also had Indy and Candace. And then we had a new team that's been formed, Ivy Nile and Maxine. Very good match. Very surprising match. I don't think it was something that we even knew about. I don't know.
Hmm.
Just something sporadic. I love that. But in the end, Natty, Tegan, they get their opportunity. And it just seems like, I don't know. I didn't think this is where they were going. Can't say I'm mad at it because, you know, anything keeping Natty in the picture, I'm happy. But I'm interested to see like how far, you know.
I feel like they would have done this because they did come down there to NXT and try to interfere with Tegan's match and
Hmm.
everything. So they've been had their little sidebar
Yeah,
bicker and everything like that. So I don't put nothing past it and
yeah.
everything.
We'll have to see. And then we move on to the battle of the suits. Miz and Gunther ahead of their match at Survivor Series, of course. Now, Miz became very upset, but Gunther was just as upset. And they ended up putting their hands on each other, as we know. What? Had to get my charger. And yeah, not. I mean, listen, you're not gonna talk too much shit to the Miz. I'm sorry, until it's an all-out brawl. You know, I didn't even think they would be having. I'm not gonna say so much interaction, but I wasn't expecting them to just have the lack of disrespect for one another. In a sense, not gonna
Well,
lie.
Gunther was bullying that man, so
He was slightly, but Miz has to. You gotta stick up for yourself, girl. Like,
he did.
no,
He,
no, he definitely.
he was like, "She I forgot. I'm from Ohio. I ain't with none of that at all whatsoever." So, like, I mean, he gave Gunther exactly what he was looking for. Yeah, you weren't on me for that.
Mm. That's terrible. It's okay. That's a preview. And then we move on to Shinsuke versus Chad Gable because obviously he's been running through the damn Alpha Academy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So Shinsuke sneaks the victory for from Chad Gable. And we move on to the main event. And this is what ruined us for life. This is what pissed me off because y'all say he's main event Jay Uso, and then he loses to a goddamn Drew McIntyre in an advantage match. And that's how we end it. Do you have any thoughts? Because I'm done. Like that, with all that greatness that happened, that's
I
what
mean,
they
well,
did.
we found out who the final member was,
Of
someone that
course,
go to
I'm saying
but
before.
I mean, but as far as like the advantage match, I mean,
Yeah,
I figured, this is something that Drew needed, what I'm saying, to get over Jay because obviously he still has this hatred towards him. He doesn't know how to let shit go. So Drew McIntyre, everybody. Yeah.
yeah.
He had an option. So
And obviously, when Judgment Day decided to stop and listen for a minute, it was
mhm.
told by Randy Orton. I mean, I'm sorry, it was told by Cody Rhodes that Randy Orton would be the fifth person. Now, I know I had a lot of doubt. Okay. Which leads us to, I mean, obviously, hopefully, I'm here to talk about this, but I'm probably not going to be here to talk about this. But Randy Orton, CM Punk, Nashville, Tennessee tonight. This is just beyond me. I don't even know what they're going to say. I don't even know what they're going to do. I'm so scared. I'm so nervous. I don't know. And then we also have some tag team action going on. So many different teams here. Looks like a 12-man tag to determine the number one contenders,
Mhm.
hopefully. And then we also have Tegan and Natty getting their match with Piper and Chelsea
Chelsea's render is eating
eating.
down. Okay. And also
Yeah.
the first hour is commercial free. So
That is true too. So I can't wait for that because, honey,
about
that
to be a
means
good
you need to be full. You need to be like what?
digital concession stand,
Like
with your
what?
all
That's
of this
I'm
stuff. She
telling
ready
y'all. Like I'm
because
about to.
about to be a lot happening.
I'm gonna stick around as much as I can, but deuces, baby. What did Nene say? Deuces, baby. But yeah, we lost once again,
Girl.
and SmackDown did a three-peat. So make sure y'all give it up.
Well, speaking of SmackDown, let's go ahead and get to the land of opportunities, the Blue Brand. Women, of course, kicking us off. War Games, Shotzi, Becky, Charlotte, Bianca. I mean, getting ready, trying to figure out if Becky and Charlotte can be on the same page, or coexist or whatever, the terminology I like to use. But Bailey decided she wanted to come out and say, you know what, Charlotte and Becky, I know you guys better than anybody. So Bianca, Shotzi, you may want to watch your back and everything like that. Because I know these women for almost 10 years. So I know these women. I know everything about them. I know what they're capable of and everything like that. And so then Becky, have her little say of, well, since you know us so well, where is your team at? Do you know your team so well? Because Bailey, you're out here by yourself. You're all alone. Where is your team? And so basically it ends up setting up to what our main event would be, which would be Becky and Charlotte teaming for the first time in a long time against Bailey and a member of Damage Control. Then we get into our undisputed tag team title match. The Judgment Days, Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I was trying to combine their names against the Street Profits. And of course, Bobby was backstage, watching everything happen, and B Fab, of course, bobbing her ass up and away per usual, just being useless as always. But this match ended up being really, really good. I feel like the Street Profits being back into like a title picture, it felt really refreshing because they haven't really been in the title picture that often. And with this new look or new gimmick that they're having, it really felt as if like they're supposed to be heels, but they're they felt like baby faces. That's the thing. Like it felt like a baby face thing with them. But nonetheless, Finn and Damien retained those titles. Sad to say for Montez, honey, because he is a Chicago native, and we were in Chicago this past weekend. And Rhea Ripley wearing his shades, like I don't, girl, I am screaming, taunting all the way. So shout out to Damien and Finn for retaining those titles. Then we move on to the Grayson Waller effect, because Grayson Waller is supposed to have the returning Sami Zayn, well not Sami Zayn, but Kevin Owens be back tonight. Well, they in conjunction with each other, so Sami could have came out too if he wanted to, but he did not. So, which we thought was Kevin Owens, but it ended up being Austin Theory pretending to be Kevin Owens, and then the real Kevin Owens came out. And then not only did Kevin Owens came out, and he was just like, you know what, that saying that when you say people's name 3 times, they manage to show up. And then Austin Theory was like, who do you mean? Like he's talking about LA Knight. And then boom, LA Knight shows up. And then they go back and forth and start their own bickering and everything like that. And it's just like, his jacket could be a fashion. It was really cute, minus the damn knee pads he had up on there, but didn't realize that they were going to lead into a match between Kevin Owens and LA Knight versus Austin Theory or Austin KO and Grayson Waller. Like I said, this was really good. I feel like Theory and Grayson, they are truly working a lot together as a tag team. They mesh really well in the ring together, but not one time did I think that they were going to beat KO and LA Knight. That's just absolutely no way. So LA Knight and KO did come out with the victory. Now we get here because this is where things start to change. Carlito, he calls out Santos Escobar because of the things that he did the last week and turning his back on LWO, doing what he did to Ray, saying the things that he said to Rey Mysterio. He was not feeling it, so he was really prepared for the match that they were going to have at Survivor Series this past weekend. Santos Escobar comes out and says, ever since you came around, you have caused issues. You have caused problems. You have been a reason. You sit here and try to tear me down, try to say I did this, did that. And then it was supposed to be me and Ray. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else came along, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it was eventually supposed to be me and Ray, and you came in and you messed it up. And so it ended up causing these two to go into a big brawl outside of the ring, which ended up having Carlito arm hurt. So he was unable to compete for Survivor Series. But somebody else could, and that was Dragon Lee. He took up that opportunity because, of course, he has respect for Rey Mysterio, but also didn't appreciate what Santos did to Carlito because Nick Aldis was going to call this match off. But unfortunately, we have someone like Dragon Lee who's ready to go, and any type of opportunity it gives itself, then there we are. So we ended up finding out that we were going to have Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee for Survivor Series, and we'll get into that after SmackDown. Okay, so we get here because the Brawler Brutes, Pete and Ridge have been having their issues because of the accidental kick that Pete gave to Ridge last week. Ridge is still holding that grudge. There's a reason why my man did not come last week. So, whatever. But they end up facing off against Pretty Deadly once again. And Pretty Deadly feel like they are the reason why the Brawling Brutes are separating, the reason why they're having issues now. They've taken full responsibility and they damn sure don't give a damn about it at all whatsoever. And so in the middle of this match, Ridge, he leaves. He says, fuck it, I'm leaving, I'm getting out of here. I'm going by whatever. This is why people dislike you. And now you're on my hit list. Which resulted in Pete having to be in a 2-on-1 match with Pretty Deadly taking that victory. I hope this leads to the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne coming back because Ridge, it's time for you to have something broken. All right. So then we get to our main event, which is Charlotte and Becky versus Asuka and Bayley. Now, throughout this whole entire night, Becky and Charlotte, they've been having their own issues backstage, bickering a little bit. We had a little moment where Bianca told Becky that Charlotte was right. You're going to hate that I said it, but Charlotte is right. Becky, being the high head that she is and not feeling it. And then you have a really, really nice, sweet moment between Shotzi and Charlotte, which was really it was absolutely everything. I thought it was a great, 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 great segment with those two. Very heart-to-heart moment. Minus Bayley and Damage Control, she obviously has lost the leadership role. Let's just say that. And so we get to our match here. It's going really well. It really was. Until there was a lot of, or it seemed to be some miscommunication between Becky and Charlotte after the spear that Charlotte gave to Oscar, which Oscar ended up landing on Becky as she was pinning Bailey. And well, it caused them to almost get into it with each other. And Bailey, being who she is, taking advantage of the situation, which bumping Becky into Charlotte, rolling up Becky, and Damage Control leaves Friday Night SmackDown with the victory, with their sort of advantage going into War Games. So we don't have really know any plans that's coming up for this Friday, but I'm sure you'll find out just as well as I do. Yeah, the girls were not. Girl, Bianca's trying to explain what the hell's going on, girl. It wasn't her fault. She didn't mean it. Shots were like, girl, please listen. Becky's like, this is why we have problems. And Charlotte's like, girl, all right. So
I just feel like these are three of the biggest women in sports entertainment. Like this is just the marquee of just this is a triple threat.
it truly is. So I don't know. All right, so we get to Survivor Series War Games. We're going to skim through this because I mean we were going to give you a post show, but you know things happen, life happens, and yeah, it wasn't meant to be. But because I wanted to give you all those
You
graphics.
know what's crazy? Life happened all for both of us
Yeah,
all weekend.
you have no
That's
idea.
fine because at the end of the day, you know what was crazy?
Hmm.
Survivor Series was probably the best thing of the whole weekend.
It
Outside
was.
of food.
It it absolutely was.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm so serious. All right, so we get to our opening match, the women's War Games, and I mean like outside of Becky not matching with the girls, this was absolutely amazing. We did find on the kickoff show that Team Bianca, Team TEST did get the advantage for this War Games, and honey, I mean, through the shout out to Charlotte and Io. Charlotte, this being her first War Games, and that moonsault off the top of the cage was everything. You couldn't expect nothing less from Io. We knew she was going to give us a trash can shot. It it didn't matter. Bianca with the two braids beating the hell out of everybody that came in. Like it was everything. I absolutely enjoyed this for the most part. And even the part where they gained up on Bailey, gave her all those damn power up finishers, put her ass to that damn table, and Becky gets the victory for the team. And you know, there was some discourse about why Becky got the pin and not why not Shotzi, but I mean, it is what it is. Everybody played a fair part in this, so it is what it is. But shout out to Team Bianca for winning War Games. I mean, listen, this is 2 years in a row that Bianca's team has won War Games. Like two years in a row. So I don't know. Now it's a lot to get into. I tell you that much. And they looked absolutely amazing. Those girls did an amazing job. Our truth is back, sort of, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, with the Ruffles sponsorship or whatever. Alpha Academy was back there eating their Ruffles, and Pretty Daily was back there eating their, trying to get the Ruffles too. And they end up dropping it. Out comes our truth under the couch, and a big pop that R-Truth definitely deserved. We have not seen him since he had that injury down in NXT. So it was really nice to see him back on the screen. Hopefully we'll see him. Hopefully see him tonight on the screen, or anything like that. Who knows? We get into the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and The Miz. The Miz, he put up a great fight. Just as I said that he would on our prediction show, he put up a great fight. But when you have someone like Gunther, I mean, you can do so much, but it's not going to be enough because The Miz ended up tapping out to Gunther, and Gunther is still the Intercontinental Championship. Now, what's next for Gunther? I have absolutely no idea, but he did say he does have his mindset on winning that World Championship. So, depending on who's going to be next in line to defeat Gunther for this Intercontinental Championship, or he just vacated, I have absolutely no idea, but that seems like that's the route for it. Also, we get into Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. I will say for me, this was probably match of the night. From start to finish, they did such an amazing job. Even Santos really tapping back into that vicious side of him, trying to rip the mask off of Dragon Lee. Like, girl, please stop it. Okay, calm down. So it was really great. It was. There's so much I could truly say about this match, but it would be a damn documentary when I get done because it was everything. So, but Santos ended up getting a victory, you guys. I mean, what can I say? What can I say? you know, I
I
enjoyed it.
think I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not surprised he won, but
Mhm.
someone had to take the loss, and
I don't think it could have been Carlito.
I don't know. But they're building Dragon Leo really well.
Of
So
course, they truly are. So I don't think this hurts Dragon League by no means necessary. So I just think that maybe he gets implemented, and Santos needs his momentum, especially with this heel turn he did. Shout out to the Braves though; they were cute. Speaking of braids, we had Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark for the Women's World Championship. Rhea, girl, you're making me someone who gets excited to see you at a pay per view because you're truly stepping up your gear, your look, like just all of it. And Zoe Stark, I mean, I did not think that Rhea and Zoe would have a bad match. I know that with Zoe Stark, the girl does some amazing things inside the ring. Honestly, she really does. And I
yeah,
mean, even though she did so many amazing things inside the ring, it still doesn't take the fact that Rhea Ripley is still running the women's division of Monday Night Raw. She truly is. Like
she
she is. What I'm saying? It would have been nice to see Zoe win, but I don't think she would have. I don't think Zoe has been built up to the stature of Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley is so appreciated, so loved. Like Rhea Ripley's defending her title now, guys. You don't have to complain anymore. I hope you're
He was
happy.
giving Keisha Kiora with the hair. I ain't
She
gonna lie.
was. And she had like the little mullet going down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
she
was
would have been
cute.
getting that for real.
That hair was cute.
It was.
I don't know. Oh Lord, I don't know what they gonna do tonight, honey. I'm
I don't know
scared.
either. We're supposed to find out Rhea's next opponent, so I think it might be Shayna.
I'm nervous.
So I don't know. She needs something,
It's very much something.
It's technically the last pay per view of the year for main roster until Royal Rumble. So
Yep.
unless they're gonna do like random Monday Night Raws or something, you know, I don't know. So and then we get to our main event, ladies and gentlemen. It could be Becky Lynch, but I think they're waiting until like WrestleMania for that. Probably, who knows what they're gonna do for that? Maybe Australia or something. But we're gonna say we get to our main event, the Judgment Day with Drew McIntyre. Judgment Day look great. The black and white, the hint of purple, it's 8 down. Okay, and Drew, well, there he is. So of course, like I said, they end up getting the advantage on the Monday Night Raw, as Nikki said. And I mean, of course, you have Cody coming out, you have Jey Uso. Drew was trying to break the damn cage if he could to get the Jey Uso. Like, girl, calm down. You have the opportunity. Um, Finn being the one to start it, Finn himself actually being the ones to start it off was not what I was expecting at all whatsoever. I thought maybe, hey, you may want to put JD in there, but you want to start out strong. And why not start out with two people who have had one of the greatest feuds and matches, I would say, between these two? I will give you that with Seth and Finn. I mean, Seth came in diving over the damn two ropes. Like, bitch, let me tell you something. We're gonna get it started immediately. And that's exactly what they did until JD came in with the kendo and they started beating the hell out of Seth back. To Jay coming in, to Sammy coming in, to Cody coming in, and then Damien. Well, technically, like I had said, was Damien was going to stop Drew McIntyre from coming in. And when he stopped, I was like, oh my God, please, y'all don't start this right now. I don't need that. Y'all was already there was already Damien and Drew been staring each other down all night, face to face, like literally. And Dawn being the last person to come out, I thought that was so interesting because I was not really thinking that Dawn would be like the last person to come out. But there's some really good spots. The triple choke slams through to the self being put through the table, Dominic being happy. This moment here where we finally get to the last person who's supposed to come out, right? It's supposed to be Randy Orton. And well, Rhea Ripley ends up coming out with the Money in the Bank briefcase. We thought she was going to be able to have a chance to cash in, and out comes Randy Orton, who looks thick as fuck. Okay? Thick. Okay? Like, look at the thighs. Okay? I mean, Randy looked like this is a year off sitting. Okay? So, Randy comes in, he clears house, RKOs, all of that just for them Team Cody to pick up the victory. Now, me and Nikki end up being 5-1 for our predictions. We listen, if we had a chose Team Randy and Cody, we would have for the first time ever cleared the predictions.
But I just wasn't expecting that. I thought Judgment Day would be able to get something. Yeah. Something done. But, there's more.
There is. And if you were here for our prediction show, I said, will this person show up
You did.
For Survivor Series?
It was disgusting.
Ladies and gentlemen, CM Punk is back in WWE. And all up and through the weekend, CM Punk has had a lot of people in uproars all over social media.
Yeah.
Different companies, promotions, blah, 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 shit like that. At the end of the day, CM Punk is back in WWE. You can call him a hypocrite or whatever, but there's a plethora of people who talk shit about their jobs and then they go back to it. Especially if the money is right. Okay.
And I think that's what a lot of people tend to take out of the mechanism is like, it's still a job.
Literally.
Like, there's still money involved, And I used to be one of those people
wake up and talk shit about their jobs every day, but get up
every day. But
because I got to survive. So
Lord.
I don't know, but CM Punk is back, ladies and gentlemen, and you will be able to catch him tonight on Monday Night Raw as well as Randy Orton. First hour free, commercial free. Definitely tune in to that. I'm gonna let Nikki go ahead and get on the road because she has to head there. And everything like that. Does he have everyone's attention now? He definitely does. And some people cannot even comment on exactly what they want to comment on per what was asked earlier about that man. But it's a crazy time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we definitely thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here for Raw versus SmackDown. We'll be back tomorrow for NXT Uncut, 11:30 p.m. Central Time, you guys.
We might be a little early.
Okay, well, if you're subscribed to the Shakkas, then you subscribe to Battleground Podcast and you have the notifications on, then you know we go live.
And we do replays too.
We do. So we absolutely do. So once again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here. Shout out to Battleground Podcast for always having the Shakkas in the den. Yeah.
Check the Twitter. Check Santana's Twitter. Check Battleground Podcast Twitter tonight. A lot of stuff that's going to be coming from Raw, which sounds crazy as hell to say in one sentence.
It really does.
But it is.
All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. We're going to get on out of here so we can prepare for Monday Night Raw and all the things that they have going on. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for NXT Uncut. This has been the Shakers In, where it's invite only.
Period.
And that's on that.